Respected Principal Sir, today's speaker Dr. Sudhakar Subudhi, my colleagues and members of organizing committee, my colleagues of PhD from IIT Roorkee, which are present today, and faculty members from different institutes, industry personals, researchers, research scholars. I, Dr. Deepak Khurana, on behalf of Satyug Darshan Institute of Engineering and Technology, welcome you all once again on the fifth day of 5-day faculty development program on advances in thermofluids and turbo machines. So today is the last day of our session. Today's topic of the session is natural convection in nanofluids. As we all know, in today's scenario, technology is very advanced. We have very high speed engines, large power plants are there, a lot of heat is generated from the cylinder of the engine and other appliances. So this heat must be removed at very faster rate, and we have basically two options to increase the heat transfer. What are these options? One is the increasing the surface area. For that, we use fins and extended surfaces. And another option is changing the fluid itself, conventional fluid, which is water. So if we change the fluid, that will be a better option to increase the heat transfer. So nanofluid is that type of fluid, that is smart fluid, which can enhance the heat transfer at very high rate, maybe 200% more than the conventional fluids. So today in this session, we will know about how the nanofluids works and how we can increase the rate of heat transfer using nanofluids. So our today's speaker is very humble, very polite, Dr. Sudhakar Subudhi from IIT Roorkee. He is also my supervisor, my guru, my mentor during my PhD. So I learned a lot from him in four years of my PhD. So I will introduce him for briefly. Dr. Sudhakar Subudhi is presently working as an associate professor in the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering at IIT Roorkee since 2012. Before joining IIT Roorkee, he worked as scientist at the ISRO and also worked as assistant professor at NIT Calicut. He obtained his MSc and PhD in mechanical engineering from IISc Bangalore. His area of interest includes convective heat transfer, natural ventilation, renewable energy sources. He has published more than 60 research publications in international journals and conferences. He has received Indo-US Bhaskar Advanced Solar Energy Fellowship at University of Notre Dame, USA. He has supervised 10 MTech and 2 PhD students. He has organized many faculty development programs and conferences at NIT Calicut and IIT Roorkee. If I name some of the FDPs, one is Advanced Flow Measurement and Visualization Techniques in 2011, NIT Calicut. Energy Efficient Buildings in 2011 at NIT Calicut. Computational Fluid Dynamics 2012, NIT Calicut. Heat Transfer on Chemically Reacting Systems in 2014 at IIT Roorkee. Recent Development in Power Plant Engineering in 2016 at IIT Roorkee. And Heat and Mass Transfer Conference in 2019, IIT Roorkee. So he has a rich experience in thermofluids. I hope that today's session will be very enlightening, very motivational for the persons working in thermofluid systems. So now I will request Principal Sir to welcome our audience and also welcome our today's speaker, Principal Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak. Thank you. I would like to welcome Professor Subudhi at the outset. And Professor, actually, our FDP would have been incomplete had we not touched the area of nano, which is the buzzword nowadays. So nanofluids was to be taken, and there was no better person than you, Professor. We are very thankful that you have very easily agreed to present, and I am sure, and I can assure my faculty colleagues present in this FDP and the industry personnel, the research scholars, and students, that it will be a very, very enlightening and a very high learning experience for all of us. Uh, Again, I would like to welcome all of you as well as Professor Subodhi. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to enlighten us on this topic. Over to you. Thank you.
So, good morning to all. First of all, I thanks organizer for inviting me for this FDP program. So, my today topic is natural convection in nanofluids. So, this is the outlines, introduction, preparation and stability analysis of nanofluids, next characterization of nanofluids, experimental setup, experimental result, and conclusions. So, convection, if some surface at bottom at high temperature, so there is a due to density difference, because fluid near to heated surface, it will be lighter, and if the fluid is going down, so due to this there is a free convection. So this is the free convection or natural convection. So there is another convection criteria, that is called RV convection, Rayleigh-Bénard convection. So in this, so if in enclosure, bottom is at high temperature and top is at low temperature, so there will be free convection. So that is called Rayleigh-Bénard convection. For this, there is a parameter used generally Rayleigh number, that is G beta delta T dq by nu alpha. So as beta is volumetric expansion coefficient, delta T is the temperature difference between bottom surface and top surface, and diameter D is the characteristic length. So if it is enclosure, it is the height of the cavity. So if it is just horizontal plate, then it will be A by P. So, and another parameter nu and alpha. So nu, this is kinetic viscosity, and alpha is the thermal diffusivity. So another parameter is Prandtl number, nu by alpha, that is Grashof number is equal to Rayleigh number equal to Grashof number into Prandtl number, where Grashof number is the buoyancy force by viscous force. So another parameter is offset ratio, which is maybe some paper they are length by height, or some paper they are also mentioning height by length. So for this RV convection, there are different regions are there. For example, initially, if it is Rayleigh number is less than 1708, then there is only conduction, because that Grashof number is the buoyancy by viscous force. So this is not sufficient, buoyancy force is not sufficient to overcome the viscous force. That's why it is only conduction, there is no convection. But if it is more than 1708, then there is a laminar convection when it is less than transition Rayleigh number. So this transition Rayleigh number depends based on Prandtl number. So if Prandtl number around 5, which is water, so here it is transition Rayleigh number is 10 to the 6. If it is, for example, case of air, this transition Rayleigh number is around 10 to the 4. So if Rayleigh number is more than transition Rayleigh number, then it will become turbulent convection. So here, I've just shown it is temperature height plot. It will become flat at near to boundary. It will become flat temperature boundary layer. Whereas in lamina, it is not flat, it is steeper. So next is for flow visualization, flow structure in RV convection. If you, and this is just my one. I've taken this photo during my IISc Bangalore research time. So here you can see this. You can see mushroom type plumes at the bottom, and it moves on lines. randomly it moves in lines. And this is also very important that this phenomena also very important for enhancement of heat transfer. You know that for general RV convection use flux scaling like Nassanovic proportional to R to the N. But another also parameter you can use, that is the H heat transfer coefficient proportional to RA delta T minus 1/3. Where is RA delta T is Rayleigh number based on thermal boundary layer thickness. Where thermal boundary layer thickness at the near the wall, that if you plot the temperature plot, so you can see that at near to boundary, that if you put one slope and this vertical line where it is cutting, that height you can call as thermal boundary layer thickness. So based on this thermal boundary layer thickness, you can get the Rayleigh number. So why this is very important? For example, if take constant delta T 2.5 degrees centigrade with water as fluid. So if it is RP convection, for example, height is 10 centimeter, and there is another surface, for example, it is horizontal plate with plate dimension 30 centimeter into 30 centimeter. So you can see that here Nusselt number will be 35 in closed cavity at the Rayleigh convection, whereas in horizontal plate it will be 164. So that's why you cannot use always that Nusselt number is proportional to Rayleigh to the n, power to n. That's why you are using RA delta T minus 1/3. It is derivation is like this. For example, you know heat flux near to wall equal minus K delta T by del Y. That also you can write down, because delta T by del Y equal to the temperature difference delta T by del Y. You can write down thermal boundary layer thickness. So from this you can get this one. So you know H equal Q by delta T. So from this you can get H equal to K by delta T. And you know that RA delta T equal to G beta delta T, delta means thermal boundary layer thickness power 3 by mu alpha. So using this equation 1, you can get H equal to this, which is based on RA delta T minus 1/3. You can see that by fixing delta T, other constant. So by using this delta T, so you can get the H. So if same delta T, that means all become constant. Only RA delta minus 1/3 is varying. So this you can for different surface, like it may be closed cavity or it may be horizontal plate. So based on this RA delta T minus 1/3, you can calculate what is the non-dimensional heat flux. So next is, as we are discussing natural convection in nanofluids. So first we have to discuss what is nanofluids. So nanofluid is the just colloidal solution of solid nanoparticles, okay, into the conventional basic fluids. So it is invented by SUS scientist Argonne National Laboratory in the year 1995. And generally nanoparticle size is 1 to 100 nanometer. It has different features because you can adjust the thermal conductivity by changing parameter of nanofluid synthesis, like shape, size, weightability. And it has a lot of application, like it is nuclear system cooling, electronics cooling, microfluidics, nanofluidics, drop delivery, and solar water applications, and so on. So generally nanoparticles, it can be metals like gold, silver, copper, silicon, nickel, iron, so many other metals, and their thermal conductivity at around 300 Kelvin I have shown. or it may be, this nanoparticle it may be metal oxide like aluminum oxide, copper oxide, titanium oxide. So they are thermoconductive also I mentioned. So another is as we are, it is mixture of nanoparticle and base fluid. So base fluid can be water or ethylene glycol or engine oil. As it is very low conductivity, this base fluid, so by application, by addition of this metal or metal oxide, means these nanoparticles, you can increase the thermal conductivity of this nanofluid. So what is the region of nanofluid heat transfer enhancement? So there is one is phenomenon is Brownian motion, that you know, if there is nanoparticles are always in random motion, that is called Brownian motion. Due to this, there is a additional energy transfer possible. Another is interfacial layer. What it is? Now this is just a thermal bridge between the solid particle and liquid metal. So due to this, there is a increased heat transfer. So this is one is Brownian motion. This is the interfacial layer, means nanoparticle and our base fluid. So there is an interfacial. So it increase the heat transfer. Another is as nanoparticle is moving, so it will create the turbulence. That due to this, there is a enhancement in heat transfer. So next is how will prepare or synthesis of nanofluid. How will prepare the nanofluids? So nanofluid can be prepared two ways. One is one-step method, another is two-step method. In one-step method, direct you will put dispersion of metal nanoparticle directly in the fluid by using physical vapor dispersion or liquid chemical method. So in physical vapor method, one-step method, this vaporization of bulk metal piece condensation vapor into the base fluid directly. Okay. Whereas in chemical method, there is a chemical component of metal nanoparticle reacts with the various surfactant or other chemicals, and nanofluid obtains as the product of the chemical reaction. So in two-step method, what we'll do first, we'll prepare the nanoparticles like using physical method or chemical method. Physical method means grinding methods or inert gas condensation, and using chemical method you can use chemical vapor deposition, chemical precipitation, microemulsion, spray pyrolysis, or thermal spraying. So using this method, first we prepare the nanoparticles. Next is after preparation, these nanoparticles will go mix with base fluid. So for stabilization, you can use surfactants. It will increase the stability. Then we will do the ultrasonication. So for uniform mixers, so it will uniform mix in base fluid. So after that, you will get the nanofluid for different application. So next is characterization of nanofluids. So for this, you have to measure for different thermal properties. So in this case, we are measuring thermal conductivity by using KD2 probe imported from Decca Devices, US. Also, we are using another instrument for fixed thermal property analyzer imported from Sweden. Then we are measuring viscosity using MCR 103 and Thornpair imported from Austria. For stability analysis, we are using Jetasizer imported from UK. And for SCM analysis, scanning electron microscope, which can measure what is the actual diameter of the nanoparticles. We are using SCM microscope that is available in our instrumentation center. So another parameter important one is Zeta potential. So which is the potential difference between dispersion media and test fluid and test fluid dispersed particle. So if you take for example one particle, for example it is negative charge. As it is negative charge, it will attack the uh, positive charge. So due to this, there is a one layer will be generated around the particle, that is called stone layer. After that, some particle positive charge also comes to this negative charge, or some will be attached to other negative charge. Due to this, there is another layer generated after equilibrium, diffuse layer. Okay, this is the diffuse layer. Finally, there is a sleeping plane where particle is that diffuse layer and the outside layer water base fluid. So this is called sleeping plane. So there's a three type of potential. One is surface potential near to particle of this surface of the particle. Then at the surface of the stone layer, that is stone potential. Then at the sleeping plane there is a zeta potential. What is that potential? That's called zeta potential. This is I have shown with distance from the particle surface. This zeta potential is very important for stability of the nanofluid. So according to literature, if it is very zero, means zero, it is almost no stability or little stability. If it is 15 poor stability or 30 moderate stability or more than 45 it is good stability. If it is more than 60 it is no settling, fully pure stability you can get. This all value is in millivolt. All zeta potential value I shown in millivolt. So for the stability of nanofluids, there are different parameters you can change so that you can get the stability of nanofluids. One is pH by changing the pH. So if you change the pH in the higher side or it is lower side, you can get the stability due to strong repulsive process. Another way is by addition of surfactants. So it is reduce the surface tension of liquids. So hence we get the more time, substitution time of particle will be increased. Another is by ultrasonication, which breaks down the agglomeration of particles. So we will also get the more stability. So another method is I already told pH. So this is one example how by using pH, changing the pH. For example, in this case, I use HCl for negative for reducing pH, pH, and for increasing pH, I am using NaOH. So you can see that I am using alumina nanofluid. You can see that it is increasing, zeta potential is increasing at if pH is very low, means acidic, and also zeta potential is increasing if pH is very high, means basic side. As I already told, if it is more zeta potential, then stability is more. And this, there are two lines. One is for high concentration. Green line is, blue line is high concentration, low concentration 0.1, and this red line is high concentration 0.5. So low concentration is blue line and red line is high concentration. So you can see that for a high concentration stability is less because there is a agglomeration of the particle. Due to high concentration, there is agglomeration. That side there is a potential decreases, also there is a reduction in stability. So there is another method for stability, to increase the stability, that is surfactant, addition of surfactant. I just shown two nanofluid. One is alumina, one is titanium oxide. So I added HDS. So you can see that for alumina it is less zeta potential, whereas in titanium oxide is high zeta potential. So alumina is titanium oxide is more stable compared to alumina. There is another paper by increasing mass fraction, how the temperature increase for same aluminum data, they also observe same thing. So as this for Rayleigh number or different parameter, you want different properties like density and expansion coefficient and specific heat. So for this all we are using some correlation. One in mixing theory we are using for density of nanofluid, that is function of concentration of nanofluid and fluid nanofluid density and nanoparticle density. Similarly, for expansion coefficient and heat capacity, we are using Khanapher and Vapai correlations. For this thermal expansion coefficient is function of similarly concentration, that is volume, percentage of volume concentration, and density beta of product of density and beta for fluid, also product of density beta for particle, nanoparticle by nanofluid. So top F is for base fluid, this is for nanoparticle, and bottom one is density of nanofluid. Similarly, specific heat function of similarly volume fraction rho c, that is for similarly for base fluid and nanoparticle, and denominator is density of nanofluid. Similar for dynamic viscosity, this correlation I am using. So it is function of dp by df and phi, whereas dp is the particle diameter, whereas df is the equivalent diameter of the base fluid molecule, which is given by this, whereas m is the molecular weight, n is the Avogadro's number, and this is the rho of the base fluid density. Similarly, thermal conductivity KNF, thermal conductivity of nanofluid, you can get, that is base fluid conductivity multiplication of this equation, which is function of temperature TFR, freezing temperature, particle thermal conductivity, and base fluid thermal conductivity, also concentration, volume fraction, and Pandar's number and Lennard's number. Next is for this our experiment, we are using this setup for Rayleigh convection. So this is our cavity. It is insulated using insulation material like glass wool, and for temperature, and this cavity is made of glass, and bottom there is a heater. Also there is a copper plate, which our bottom plate is copper plate because it has high conductivity. That's why using copper plate. And there is a heater, and then bottom is insulated by using wood. And this heater temperature is changing using voltage variac. So next slide you can see, this is clearly for setup our experimental. This is our experimental setup, like in glass cavity, and this dimension is cross section area is 120 centimeter into 120 centimeter, and 120 mm by 120 mm, and this is height is 365 mm, and this is cavity glass. It is made of glass. This thickness of 6 mm thickness, and here another cavity, that is for maintaining low temperature. You are connected to which constant temperature bar, means cooling water are circulating, and dimension of this is 116 mm into 160 mm, and the height is 25 mm. And here for measurement of temperature at different point, we are using thermocouples. It is attached with a rod, plastic rod, or you can use wood rod. And this at different height, you can measure the thermocouple. We are using T-type thermocouples. And for measurement of bottom plate temperature, also we are using thermocouples. Okay, it is we have made grooves inside the bottom copper plate, and we have put thermocouples inside that. And for maintaining or for getting different heat flux, because which is proportional to Rayleigh number, because by this you can get the delta T, because in Rayleigh number delta T is there, temperature difference between hot surface means the copper plate and cold surface. This is also copper plate. So for different temperature difference, we are varying heat flux into the heater by using voltage variac. So if you change the voltage, so you know the by changing the voltage means V square by R. Okay, as so Q equal to V square by AR, heat flux. So V is the voltage, R is the resistance of the heater coil. So by this you can change the heat flux. So there is a, you are doing the series of experiment. So by changing the different parameters, so mainly we have two concentration of nanofluid. One is 0.0, one is 0.1 volume fraction, and two types of nanoparticle we are using. One is diameter 20 nanometer, and another is 40 nanometer. So by this four combination of experiment we are getting. So for this concentration I am measuring using this formula, which is function of nanoparticle density, base fluid density, and mass of the nanoparticle. How much mass we are taking for preparation of nanofluid. So we are using different aspect ratio. I have already told aspect ratio I have taken height by length. So by changing height, because here I only told this gasket we are moving up and down. By this water layer will be changing. By this height by this length. By that you can getting different aspect ratio. So in our experiment we are doing for 0.3, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. This number of aspect ratio we are taking. So by due to different aspect ratio, our Rayleigh number with change of heat flux we are getting from around 2 into 10⁷ to around 6 and 7 into 10⁻11 Rayleigh number. So this is a for different aspect ratio, but is a different Rayleigh number range. Okay, when circle is for our distilled water, because we are taking water. First, initially we are doing experiment for distilled water, then we are doing for nanofluid. So this year we are taking four combination of nanofluid. So for this there is a different combination of Rayleigh number based on aspect ratio. So if you plot the temperature with time for different surface, you will get temperature time plot like this. But all calculation we are doing when it becomes steady. See, you can see that after 1 hour, the line have become horizontal. That means become steady. So after this, all calculation like Rayleigh number we are calculating after this. This is just for one case, like a volume fraction 0.1 and Lagrange number 1.27 into 10 to 10, 10 to 10, and the answer is 1. So next is for this natural convection experiment, you have to always follow the Boussinesq approximation, that is called Overbeck Boussinesq approximation. Is very important because due to this, if what is the main properties, main criteria for this, except the density, all properties should be constant, temperature dependent. So there is a dependent of the properties of water until it is constant. Okay. Where is density? No problem, but others should be temperature dependent. All physical properties should be constant. Then you can get the, like at bottom and top, this Thermobanding layer should be uniform. Also you can get at midway, you can get the cavity. Properly at midway you can get at top is another uniform temperature fluctuation, and bottom also uniform temperature fluctuation. And temperature profile at bottom and top, it will be very same. Temperature means that thermobanding thickness will be same. So this is very important for all natural convection experiment. For that, if we are using two parameters, one is change in density, that is beta delta T, and for that just I plotted beta delta T for nanofluid is, and for water is that black one, and this is nanofluid. I have taken only one nanofluid, like 40.1% volume fraction and 40 nanometer nanoparticle. For that, we can see that according this criteria, means according Neiman and Srinivasan JFM paper, it should be less than 0.2. So as it for the validity of this approximation, as our value is less than 0.2, that means it is valid. Our case is valid, means it is Boussinesq approximation is valid. There is another parameter that calls Boussinesq quantity, that if you measure, that you can measure using this expression, where pi, that is summation of different fractional division, like one is density fractional division, one is beta rho product fractional division, then kinetic viscosity, thermal conductivity, and specific heat. That's summation of this. And this Ci, this is coefficient. For this coefficient depends on Prandtl number. So for different numbers, C0, C1, C2, C3, so it depends on Prandtl number, and that function I have already given here. And according this paper, it should be order of 1. So then it is approximation is valid. So as it is also our order of 1, then it is see you have less than 10, so it is order of 1, so it is our approximation is valid. Next is Nassau-Nummer-Lalienau correlation. So from literature survey, we have seen that if Prandtl number, this Nassau number, increase first with Prandtl number, then it is maximum around Prandtl number 4, then become constant. In this our experiment, as our Prandtl number is varying from 2.71 to 5.75, so this parameter is very important for us. It should be, our Nassau number should be function of Prandtl number, not just power of array power. It should be function of Prandtl number array. This is a famous correlation that is called GL theory, or in Grassmann and Losse theory in JFM paper 2000. This is very famous theory. Many people are following this GL theory. So based on this should be function of Prandtl number, Lagrange number, and power will be -1/2 or 1/4. First expression, and second expression power kernel minus 1 by 7 and array power 3 by 7. And this AB depends experiment to experiment. So as I already told, we are doing first distilled water, then we are doing for nanofluid. So first case in distilled water, so we have plotted Nusselt number calculation, that is Nusselt number is y-axis and Rayleigh number is x-axis, and it is only for distilled water, and aspect ratio we are varying 0.3 to 2.5 by varying the water layer height. So you can see that all points for different aspect ratio, all points almost fitting with this GL theory equations, and but our correlation will be, AB value will be like 0.0924, and here 2.40 into 10 to the minus 3. So next we are going for Nusselt number for volume fraction of nanofluid for volume fraction of 0.01, and nanoparticle diameter is 20 nanometers. You can see that this is also following one correlation. For all aspect ratio, it is following one correlation, one fitting line, and this is for distilled water. Okay, you can see that as distilled water, you can dotted line is below one. So solid line is the top one. You can see that it is almost in our range. And nanofluid is more than distilled water. Nanofluid Nusselt number is more than distilled water, because solid line is for nanofluid and dotted line is for distilled water. Similarly, second case we are checking same volume fraction, 0.1 volume fraction, but nanoparticle dimension is changing. Okay, that is 1 minute. 0.1, this is 20 nanometer. Starting it was same, nanoparticle dimension is same, 20 nanometer, 0.1 volume fraction. First one is 0.01 volume fraction, 20 nanometer particle dimension. In this Nusselt number we have plot in this way. Second case, what we did, same case, 0.1 volume fraction and particle dimension 20 nanometer. You are just this way you have taken Nusselt number, nanofluid Nusselt number by distilled water Nusselt number. By this you can say how many times our nanofluid Nusselt number increasing. So you have seen that this 0.1 volume fraction, it almost all points is more than 1. That means Nusselt number is more than Nusselt number of nanofluid is more than distilled water. Almost all aspect ratio we are getting more. So now we are changing to 0.1. Okay, earlier it was 0.01 volume fraction, now we are keeping 0.1. Okay, keeping same nanoparticle diameter. So that means we have concentration are increased. Earlier it was 0.01, now it is 0.1. So we can see that initially, as solid line is nanofluid, initially it is increasing up to some Rayleigh number, then it is decreasing compared to water, because water is the dotted line, and this correlation for nanofluid, and this is for distilled water. This power is only this power is changing by keeping all this condenser power and array power keeping constant. Only AB value are changed. You can see it is almost also following line. Next is similar way we are doing nanofluid by distilled water. You can see that almost at only low Rayleigh number it is of some increasing, then at a high Rayleigh number there is a decrease of Nusselt number nanofluid is decreasing for different means at high high Rayleigh number, it is increasing, decreasing. Now it is 0.01 volume fraction. Now we are changing the particle diameter to 40 nanometer. It was all cases were 20 nanometer. Now it is 40 nanometer. Now you can see that low concentration, still for low concentration we are getting high Nusselt number, because solid line is for nanofluid and the dotted line is for distilled water. Still we are getting in our range, we are getting in our Rayleigh number range, we are getting increasing Nusselt numbers for almost for all aspect ratio. Similarly, this is the same way we are taking the ratio of nanofluid to distilled water, and here also you can see almost for all cases, all aspect ratio are getting high Nusselt numbers for all aspect ratio. Now we are increasing the concentration by keeping the same 40 nanometer. So you can see that there is initially it is increasing, again also then decreasing for nanofluid. As water is initially it is compared to water, initially it is increasing, nanofluid is increasing, then compared to water it is decreasing for different aspect ratio. So at high Rayleigh number it is decreasing. Similarly, this is the fraction of nanofluid Nusselt number by distilled water Nusselt number. There also can see most cases it is decreasing. Now we have done some generalized correlation, that is taking all parameter like Nusselt number, function of aspect ratio, particle diameter, Rayleigh number, and concentration, percentage of volume, in percentage of volume. So in y-axis predicted Nusselt number means by fitting line, and this is the what is the experimental value. Just we are putting experimental values. So you can see that this correlation Nusselt numbers, it is weak function of aspect ratio, particle diameter, while it is strong function of Rayleigh number and concentration. So this is very important expression, because you can see that how it is varying, because you can see that how which parameter is very important. You can see here Rayleigh number and concentration is very important, whereas particle diameter and the aspect ratio is not very important. Anyway, we are doing only 2 nanoparticle diameter. Maybe if we increase the particle diameter, it may be different. So another is by keeping same delta T, like 14 plus minus 1 degree centigrade. Delta T means the temperature difference between bottom surface and top surface. We have plotted how it is varying with Nusselt varying with aspect ratio. You can see that it is almost all is following very close with each other, not very much difference, and always high. This one 0.01, okay, 0.01, and here also 0.01, okay, and here 0.1 and 0.1. See, like this triangle of 0.1 always lower compared to 0.01, okay, and almost all up to this you can see that all aspect ratio it is almost not much variation. Only some high, there's some little bit variation. So next we are calculating thermomandular thickness delta Ts. We have non-dimensionalized using height of the cavity. Okay. So that we have plotted thermomandular thickness. How we calculate, I already told in initially. So we have got for distilled water, this is the expression, it is function of Rayleigh number. Similarly for nanofluid, this is the function of this. Okay. And you can see that with increasing Rayleigh number, both are decreasing. And for also for all absolute ratio. For all absolute, it is decreasing. And then none of it is more compared to this is because these two are dotted line. So always none of it thermodynamic is more compared to this two. Whereas here in this case, when volume pressure is increasing 0.1, keeping same particle dimension, particle diameter. Here you can see this also changing. Initially it is increasing, then again decreasing. As we have got Nusselt number, same phenomena getting. Similarly for 40 nanometer dimension, if particle dimension is increasing, particle diameter is increasing to 40 nanometer. Here, yeah, this type of phenomena getting. Initially it is high, but finally it is decreasing with Rayleigh number. Similarly for a high concentration 0.1. So for 0.1, you can see that always this nanofluid always more than the distilled water. And this is the with aspect ratio how it is changing. How thermal thickness increasing with aspect ratio. So this is the distilled water. So always all nanofluid granular thickness is increasing for nanofluid. So always granular thickness increasing compared to distilled water. Always it is increasing with aspect ratio. Almost all cases. Then you have calculate the Rudminska temperature distribution. This is mainly how temperature is fluctuation, how temperature is fluctuating. Rudminska is just temperature minus average temperature. Rudminska is the summation of all differences summation by n number of points. Then square root, you can get the Rudminska temperature distribution. And this is very important. You can know at what point there is a temperature variation is very high and where it is less. This is very important, this parameter. So again we are non-linear using delta T. You have got these equations. This is for case of water, distilled water, and for different aspect ratio. Almost this following this equation. If this is for nanofluid, that L1 distilled water, this is a nanofluid, this is also following this equation, but at a high Rayleigh number there is some fluctuations. And similarly for this one, high concentration 0.1 volume percentage and particle diameter 40 nanometer is also following this equation with different values. And you know, always people are very familiar with Nusselt number equal to some constant into R to the 1/3 power. Mainly people are always very familiar, and it is very easiest way for calculating or getting for Nusselt number correlation. That's why we are putting also this, although our convention of also we are assuming as convention is constant, we are done also this correlation by without taking Arnold's number. So you can see that what is the black line and the other two lines for low concentration 0.01 and 0.01 both is already fitting over the that black line, that is distilled water line. Okay, over the distilled water all low concentration is high. Okay, why is high concentration? 0.1 40 nanometer, 0.1 20 nanometer. Okay, both is below the distilled water. So from this, it is very simplest way that how Nusselt number changing for different combination. You can see that high concentration low Nusselt number and low concentration high Nusselt number. I've taken all cases here, so from this you can see. So this is the conclusion. You can that our main conclusions the same writing here. So many is nanofluids of low concentration have more zeta potential, hence more stable. Okay, this we have always seen. Based on zeta potential I have seen. Then titanium oxide is more stable compared to alumina. That also we have seen based on zeta potential. And addition of surfactants, it increased the stability of nanofluids. In our convection, like Lalavan convection for both water and freeze, satisfying overweight Bosnian approximation, which is very famous approximation for any nanofluid experiment. That also we are following because I already shown this based on process parameter and beta delta T parameter. Both I have shown you. Also particle concentration. For 0.01, it is already enhancement for both case, both particle diameter, 20 nanometer, 30 nanometer. And we have seen that for this up to 5 in 0.8 into 10 to the 9, it is, sorry, 10 to 11, it is enhancement for lower particle concentration. But if you are increasing 0.1 volume, means 0.01 to 0.1, increasing concentration, then there is a this enhancement up to 1 Rayleigh number 4 into 10 nanometer. After that, it is decreasing. Although it is increasing initially, but after that, it is decreasing for high concentration. And this enhancement is uniquely dependent on acceleration and particle size. I already told you. And we have already plotted this prediction Nusselt number compared to experimental Nusselt number, and that generalized correlation we have got, and we have seen that it is weak function of aspect ratio and particle diameter and strong function of concentration and Rayleigh number. And there is reduction in boundary thickness with Rayleigh number, that also we have observed for all cases. And DC reduction was more for nanometer and low Rayleigh number, and it is high for opposite for high Rayleigh number. And maximum Rayleigh number observed for particle concentration from 0.01 and particle diameter 40 nanometer. And this temperature fluctuation that I plotted with RMS values, it is decreasing with Rayleigh number at convective center zone. And this correlation means for this RMS value correlation, that temperature fluctuation, if you non-dimensionalize using delta T, then you are getting this equation, and this P depends on different concentration and different particle size. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a nice, wonderful presentation on nanofluids. Now we will take some questions.
Okay.
Those who will raise the hand, I will unmute themselves, and they can ask the question. On side by side, I will also request all to turn on their video so that we can take some snapshots to put in our website. So if you can on your video so that we can take snapshots of that. And also I will unmute those who will raise the hand. Owais Guljar, Professor Owais Guljar is there. Professor Owais Guljar, you can ask the question. Please unmute yourself. I have unmuted you. Please unmute from your side. Professor Owais Guljar, if you are able to hear me, please unmute from your side. You have to unmute from their side. And also all are requested to turn on their videos. I think they are not able to hear us. Mr. Rakesh, you want to ask something? Mr. Rakesh, unmute yourself. You can ask the question. Rakesh.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, first of all, good morning to everyone and good morning to sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, actually, I want to ask about the aspect ratio as you have told us about in your slide. What is the meaning of aspect ratio and what is the significance of aspect ratio? I want to ask. Please, sir.
Yeah, this absolutely is the in this my case I have taken what is the uh, water layer height. Okay, for example, in this case, so you are using water layer height. What is the water layer height by what is the length? This is the absolute ratio. Okay, so by changing this water layer height, you can get a different absolute ratio. For our experiment, we have seen that absolute ratio is not very strongly dependent. It is almost all plot you can see all plots. For example, this case. Okay,
Okay, sir.
all plots are in a single line coming. Okay, for different absolute ratio, all plots notion number correlation it is coming in single line. So that means it is not much effective.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Professor Always Guljar, I'm unmuting you. You have to unmute from your side. I have unmuted you from this side. You have raised hand, or you can send your question in chat box. I will read the question on your behalf. In the meantime, there is another question from Dr. DB Jani in the chat
Hello?
box. Dr. Always Guljar. Yes, you can ask question now.
Good morning, Professor Subodhi,
Good morning.
and good morning to organizers as well. Sir, I
Good
have
morning,
a very basic question. You talked about the enhancement mechanisms of the thermal conductivity.
Yeah.
My question is how important is the role of a nanoparticle material? Like what I expect is if I use a high conducting material, maybe a metal like silver or gold, maybe I can expect a better yield rather than the metal oxides. So how effective is how effective it is used to a nano from a perspective of material point of view rather than a concentration and size.
Yeah, I have already shown one plot. For
Yeah.
example, see, I have shown here. We have measured zeta potential. I have taken two cases. For example, one is alumina, one is titanium oxide. You
Yeah.
can see this for titanium oxide. Okay, zeta potential is very high. Whereas alumina, it is low. So from this you can see that more stable alumina is titanium oxide is more stable compared to alumina. So this is the for it is depends for material to material.
Okay. My question was basically related to the thermal conductivity.
Yeah, thermal conductivity.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, sir. It's to the thermal conductivity.
Yeah, it is see if the zeta potential is more, particle will be more stable. Okay. If
Okay.
more stable, so what will happen? Yeah, particle will be everywhere. Yes or not? Because it is not settling, particle will be everywhere.
Okay.
That means it will give a interfacial layer. That is which is I have already told thermal bridge between the solid particle and liquid. If particle will be everywhere, then thermal conductivity will increase.
Okay.
That I told.
Okay, fine. Sir. My second question is, sir, the addition of the nanoparticle will definitely increase the thermal conductivity and simultaneously it will increase the viscosity as well.
Yeah.
And if we want to see the overall effect, maybe the rise in the thermal conductivity is less compared to the rise in the viscosity. So how can we estimate whether the use of the nanofluid is going to be effective in our system or not?
Yeah, there is another parameter that is Nusselt number. Based on Nusselt number, there is one fraction is the Nusselt number and pressure gradient. That is another parameter is the by plotting that one, you can see when it is less, when it is more. Based on that, you can do that. Deepak can tell you because in his experiment he did. He explained he did this one by taking fraction of Nusselt number and the pressure gradient. He has done explained for his force convection experiment.
Okay.
That is there. By taking this parameter fraction, you can calculate it is more thermocline is more dominant or pressure gradient is more dominant, that you can get.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Sir, another question is from Dr. D.B. Jani. The question is in chat box. How to calculate settle down time of nanofluids?
Yeah, that we are keeping. I have not shown this here picture, but we are keeping this one after this one. What is that called? Sonication. We are keeping nanofluid in a for example, in a beaker or some container. Okay. Then you are with time how it is varying, how settlement is going on. That will so then you can see that one. So based on that, you can see for different concentration or different nanophysics how much time it is continuing, means how much time it is taking for settlement. That you can do.
Sir, there is one more question from Dr. Gogoi, Jyoti Gogoi. Is there any way to calculate or measure the thermal conductivity of a hybrid nanoparticle?
Hybrid nanofluid measure thermal conductivity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can measure thermal conductivity. We have like this. I have shown, like you have properties in a. I have shown. See, like this thermal conductivity measurement. You are using KT2 probe and hotix thermal property analysis. So using this instrument, you can measure the whatever it is, any type of nanofluid. You can measure the thermal conductivity.
Yes, sir. And I think we can take one more question from Dr. Ajay Sharma. He want to ask, is there any nanofluid opportunity for nanofluid to be used in IC engines with conventional fuels like petrol or diesel? We can use nanofluids.
Yeah, for cooling of IC engine, I have one paper that for cooling of engine, okay, you can use for cooling of, for example, radiator, you can use the nanofluid. That is the people are doing for cooling of nanofluid, cooling of radiator, IC engine radiator. So they are using nanofluid. There, yes, they are using. There are so many papers are there.
Yes, sir. And one question is from Mr. Vipin Kumar. Vipin Kumar, you can ask your question.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, my question is the use of nanofluid in the field of refrigeration and air conditioning.
Okay.
So, have you worked in this field also? Use of nanofluid in refrigerant to enhance
I did not work in refrigeration air conditioning. I did not work. I just using this post convection, pre convection, and solar collector. I use for my experiment for solar collector. I use. There we are getting enhancement more. Enhancement, it means delta T. We are getting more in solar collector, but I have not used this one for refrigeration air conditioning.
Okay, so we can use this nanofluids in refrigerant also or not?
For air conditioning, the people are using for this one, for example, they are using nanofluid. I've seen some paper for building cooling. They are using, for example, if you are using PCM material, phase change material for storage of energy. For example, storage of energy. For example, whole day there is sunlight, you have solar energy, but night there is no solar energy. So if you want to just store that solar energy, so people are using PCM. With PCM, they are putting this one, nanoparticles. So it will enhance the this one, energy storage capacity. That
Sir,
I
which
have
nano
get some paper.
combination is best?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome.
I think we can take one last question. One more hand is raised. Professor Nawaz Khan. I think this may be the last question. Others who want to ask the question, please send a mail to us or mail to sir. He will answer your queries through mail. Professor Nawaz Khan, you can ask the question now.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I want to ask about the combination of nanofluid particles. So, which nanofluid is best for the use in microchannel, in the case of microchannel?
Microchannel, I did not work also. I don't know much about microchannel. So sorry for this. I did not work. You have to see some literature. I don't know about microchannel.
Okay, okay, sir. No problem, sir. Okay.
Mm.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, Dr. Sudhakar Subudhi, for such a nice session on using the nanofluids. As we already know that heat transfer is a major issue nowadays because the technology is very fast, but the heat transfer technology is not so fast. So to increase the heat transfer, we have no option other than using some smart fluids. So nanofluids and the concept of using nanofluids, how we can use in the nanofluids in our practical applications. And the major issue with nanofluids we have seen in the session is the stability analysis, that they are not stable and they settle down after certain time. So zeta potential, pH values variation, and other techniques are there which can be used for to stabilize the nanofluids and utilizing the nanofluids in some commercialized applications. So there is a far away time lapse between the commercialization of these nanofluids because still we are using the conventional fluids. So there is a large scope in the nanofluids because it is not still commercialized in all the applications. So such a nice session from scratch to the advanced version. So I really thankful to you, Professor Sudhakar Subudhi,
Thanks.
and I will request
Also.
now I will request Principal Sir to thank our participant and our speaker to give a vote of thanks to all of them.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Subudhi gave us a very enlightening lecture and a highly informative and a very new upcoming area. Most of us have first time heard about nano heat transfer, nanofluid heat transfer. And because it is upcoming, it is a potential area where we can do our research work and do publications. And hopefully we will be inviting Professor Subudhi again, and we will always be indebted to him for agreeing and making our FDP a grand success and complete by including the nano fluid side. Professor, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, sir, for invitation.
And I would now like to thank all the participants, and I hope you have all enjoyed and gained out of these 5 days of high intensity FDP on thermofluids, CFD and nanofluid, etc. So we would like your all your valuable feedbacks. Whatever shortcomings were there, we would like to improve upon, because this was the first time we organized at such a massive scale, and I would very much like your feedbacks so that I know about what were our shortcomings, and otherwise it was, I feel, a very informative week, you can say. And I thank all of you again for joining this FDP, and wish you all the best in your respective careers, those from the industry, those from the institutions and research scholars. All of you, my best wishes and greetings to all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Principal Sir, for motivating us to organize the faculty development program. Uh, Previously, we were starting with the 1 day or 2 day program, but principal sir motivated us to go for 5 days program because it has more value in government organization. So we have arranged the 5 days program, and a professor from renowned institutes give lecture at this platform. So thank you, principal sir, for this motivation.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
I also thank you. I also thank you our organizing team, Mr. Nitesh Rajak, who worked day and night for making the participant certificates and other feedback forms. I also thank you, Dr. Kailash Atri, for sending the links and other things through mail and through WhatsApp to various participants and advertising the FDP. Also, I will like to thank Jaswant sir for other work for the faculty development program. So this was the organizing team, and I thank all the organizing committee members. I also thankful to participants who participated in this program for 5 days, and I thank you all. Thank you very much. If anyone want to ask something or say something, give their comments for further improvement, they are welcome. So thank you all. Thank you, Principal Sir. Thank you once again, organizing committee members, and thank you, participants, for participating 5 days faculty development program. I hope that all of you have filled the form, and the certificate is generated, and you have received the certificate at your mail. If you have not received, it may take some time for generating the certificate, or if the limit of 100 participants is over, then you will get the certificate by tomorrow after 24 hours. So thank you all. Thank you once again.